Hi everyone, I'm Stan from Eagle Vision. I'm here with Rob Davidov. Rob, welcome.
Hi Stan.
Rob is a very experienced interior designer and architect. When we're talking about interior design and how it relates to, presentation of some of the projects in the marketplace today. In this episode, we'll discuss about the marketing of that interior design package and how projects or developers should think about bringing their projects across to make them stand out. So what are some of the elements of that marketing that you need to bring across to
Well, I think the way projects are being marketed now is it's just going leaps and bounds forward, and it's already becoming an extension of the project. It's always been the first touchstone about where a potential purchaser meets the project, but now it's really becoming a representation of the project. The quality of the collateral that you're producing, the quality of the website, it's all being considered more and more important because it's a very competitive market.
Yeah. And then what are some of the materials, that you're having to use for marketing of that?
So where we used to see 3 or 4 interiors and a couple of exterior hero shots being produced, we're seeing a demand for more and more information, so more and more renders being produced at a higher quality. We're looking at whether these interiors are also being styled to a higher level. The market's becoming far more sophisticated, and I think they're also getting more exposure to really great interiors projects from all over the world through Instagram and Pinterest and the internet in general. So the market is just becoming more sophisticated. We're talking about now having marketing companies engaged to help develop the branding of a project. It might have a name, it might be with its own identity, and how that flows through to brochures and websites.
And how about display suites? How much effect do you have, or how much say do you have around the display suites, and how much is brought across in those display suites of the interior design?
With the display suite, people are doing them at all different kind of price points, and I guess that's going to be governed by the scale and level of the development. But I think you have to remember, whatever you're creating that's becoming an example of this development needs to represent the quality of the development you're doing. So if you're going to do anything, do it to the best of your abilities. Otherwise, you're going to be selling the development short, and that's really going to leave a bad impression on any of your potential purchasers.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned earlier that you worked on a project in Martin Crt. So how did that come about in terms of the interior design and how it was being presented to the buyers?
I guess this is kind of going back to an earlier conversation when we talked about having a very crisp concept. The project that we're currently doing now in Martin Crt is based on 2 individual homes on a common site, and because of that, it was very clear from the very conception of the project that they both have their own identity, even though they were always going to be read as a pair. So we talked about them having these 2 dual identities, one being the extrovert and one being the introvert. Having those 2 concepts went through the architecture and then was brought through the interiors as well, and they each have their own architectural expression, and that also lent to having these 2 what we considered more introverted interiors and an extroverted interiors package, and that was also then brought through into how they were individually branded. So having that kind of key concept and story was able to be run through architecture, interiors and branding in this concise thing, and it's summed up in 2 words. So it is something that can be brought right the way through a project, and that can be something that can be very memorable for a potential.
And very powerful too, for the marketing of it. Very good. Look, that's kind of what we wanted to talk about, just simple and straightforward keys that developers need to think about when either putting together the team to create the design for a project, or when marketing a potential development and bringing that interior design and architecture together to the potential buyers. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again.